Yo, yo, it is I, Dontrell, Detroit. Glad to be in the building. Matter of fact, let me give myself a boo for being late. But my bad. And now, because I am here, I work on the play. Travis out there, Sunday is my busiest days, having fun with the family and whatnot. But again, it's good to be back. Today is Sunday, the 4th, I believe. So happy August, everybody. This month is my son's birthday, so that's the only reason why I really like it. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of bittersweet because I'm a Clipper fan. You know what I'm saying? So this is my son. It's his birthday, right? Thank you for the question. But then on another note, his birthday is on August 23rd.
Bruh.
And that means he was born on the same day as Kobe Bryant. Now, I do respect Kobe. He's a great dude, great talent, pretty amazing. Can't complain. But nonetheless, he's still a Laker, and I'm a Clipper. You know what I'm saying? 49 a Clipper fan all day. And the Heat and the Sonics, but that's a whole nother day. I'll explain that on another radio. Courtside, by the way, they dope. Check them out. And so, if you want to call in tonight, the number is 323-900-0478. Again, that number is 323-900-0478. You could also check us out at the Good News Radio podcast, the Good News Radio station. And we got an app now that makes life so much more easier at the Good News Radio app, whatever the case may be. And I'll reiterate that over the course of time throughout the show, especially when I start streaming live. My computer's a little slow right now, and it's taking its time doing its thing. I'm missing my co-host tonight at the relationship game. Tommy, shout out to you. Deidre, we miss you, girl. Bring your butt back. And then again, there is the homie. And then that same homie, Charles Handy. But you can't say I didn't love you both ways. You know what I'm saying? If you listen, I gave you the high five first. You know what I'm saying? And then I say the best for last. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure if you was here, and I'll talk about myself for being tardy, I know you would have done it, so I was just getting it out the way. But yeah, so here at the relationship game today, we are talking about what things really mean. And I'm pretty sure I'll cover a myriad of things, but just at the beginning point, that's where I would like to start, is what things really mean. But before I get into that, I would like to talk about my weekend. And I hope everybody here has had a good weekend. I hope everybody is out doing their thing. Football season is officially here. That's my first love. So since we're talking about this relationship game, like that's where it all started. Where were you when you fell in love with hip hop? I remember I was standing in front of the TV when I saw Jerry Rice catch a slant pass on the Chargers, and I was like, wow, that's dope. Then he did it again, and I was like, wow, this nigga, and he made a one-handed catch. I'm like, man, this nigga's nice. And then they just never lost after that, it seemed like. So where were you when you fell in love with whatever it is you're passionate about? But I had a good weekend. Last week church was lit. We went to New Jerusalem, played a dope service there. Love the congregation. This week was back at the home church. Church was lit again. First Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Good sermon out there. It's been a busy weekend. I've been DJing, and for all my Good News Radio folks, like y'all, this chat that we got going on, it be going up. Now, I can't always get back in it, primarily because I'm used to not having the phone, so I'm never really like around my phone.
Bruh.
So when I do get better with it, you know what I'm saying? When I do pay more attention to it, like I most definitely will chime in and all our shows are lit. Like I still have a guilty conscience about listening to the show, the Get Right during church. You know what I'm saying? They always be like, "What are you doing?" And I'll be like, okay. And I'll be back there listening to them. So shout out to everybody, Keith. You know, everybody, and especially the sports side of everything. But yeah, so hopping into that's what I did forgot. So I feel like a tourist in my own city this past weekend because I've been driving all over. And some of the houses I've run into have just been amazing. 201 Ocean Boulevard, amazing. I don't know who that person's place is, but just freaking amazing. Like if you've never just taken a drive around your own city and some of the places that you've never been, you should go because it's what people talk about that want to come here. And I want to say I don't want to say for the first time, but it was definitely an experience, and I understood like why people are dying, leaving other states and countries to come here, because it's really a beautiful place and we take it for granted. But a lot of us don't leave the hood across the 405 or leave the 10, and so we never really get to experience those things. And so all week, you know, literally I've just been all over and seeing some things that, you know, now just because it's a Friday or any day that anything live, I might just go take a drive out there and just go see some things and be a part of it different, because it allows you to dream. All right. So speaking of dreaming, what do things really mean, especially in relationships? I used to always say, when we get married and we're saying "I do" at the altar, you know, what does that really mean? You know, what does that really entail? You know what I'm saying? Are we saying the same thing? Because if you're like me and you love English, you understand what a synonym means. And so a lot of times, a lot of us are talking till we blue in the face, and we're saying something. We're saying one thing, but it means something completely different. And the first time I really truly learned how similar things can be, but be completely different. Stay with me here, because this is a wild ass analogy, but it was watching The Simpsons, and it was the first time they left Springfield and went to Shelbyville. Now it was tripping because Shelbyville was built the exact same way. It had a Bart, it had a Homer, it had a Marge, and it was just they were living the exact same life. Where they looked the exact same, but they were doing opposite things. Some similar, very similar. If you didn't look close, it was like, hey, you got a bar, he doing the same. But it's like, dang, you look like me. You seem like you into what I'm doing, but you still built a little differently, saying things a little differently. And it's still not the same, although it seems running the same mill. Well, a synonym, you know what I'm saying? You might have a word, but there's alternate meanings to that word, right? And so, like, if you could say, if you would just, I don't know, let's find a word where you could say one thing and be talking about something completely different. So, how about somebody give me a word? Proclivity, right? So I saw this kid. Or precocious. I saw this kid earlier, and you know, I had the thought to myself like, "Hey, Dami," you know what I'm saying, right? He goes to our church, and I was thinking to myself today, like, he's a precocious little kid, and where I could just be saying, well, he's before his time, and it get him in trouble, like, oh, you being too adult, that's before your time. I could also say he's a precocious kid before your time, and he's an old soul, because he's definitely seemed like he's been here before. Like we've all said that, like he's been here before. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you advance for your age, but then we've also had people get in trouble because they've been advanced for their age. Like you too fast. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not an adult yet. Slow down. So, what does that really mean? And so, my first thought was people meeting at the altar and them saying I love you and till death do us part, and we trying to figure out, we not knowing what they really mean by it, because we're saying the same words. We're both sitting there saying, yeah, I do, you know what I'm saying, I want to be with you forever, but a lot of times it's based upon a contingency plan. Like, yeah, I want to be with you forever as long as we don't go broke. That's the one thing I can't deal with. You know what I'm saying? But they're not saying that. They're just saying, I love you forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, to death do us part. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't have a gambling problem or you're not a sex addict. You know what I'm saying? To death do us part as long as you're OCD clean like I'm OCD clean. You know what I'm saying? I love you up until, you know what I'm saying, contingent upon. But we're not saying that. You know what I'm saying? We're just saying, I love you and till death do us part. But there's really something behind it. Like, my love looks like this. Or more importantly, I expect my love to be given back to me like this. And I think you fit that narrative. That's what a lot of people are saying when they say, I love you. And sometimes, I was watching The Bachelor today, and they were talking about on the Bachelor, on the Bachelorette. I'm sorry, not the is it the Bachelorette? The Bachelorette. And in the Bachelorette, there's the guy that looks great, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, built. You know what I'm saying? Handsome, attractive guy. And it's like, oh, okay, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, this works. So she looks at him and he falls for her because she's beautiful, right? And she looks at him and she's like, oh, man, like, I like him. He fits my aesthetic or whatever that would be. And so when I saw her, I'm like, dang, like, I would marry her too. I would be whatever, right? But then, and men especially know, like, we know that there's a possible synonym behind this, that what I see pretty doesn't necessarily mean pretty that I would want to marry, right? So women oftentimes, people all the way, but sometimes women get caught up in the pretty part, which I think she most definitely did, and she fell for him right away. But he was showing signs the entire time of not being the person that he wanted to be. Now, traditionally, you know what I'm saying? Because traditionally we get to find these things out over time, right? But they're in the microwave incident. So I firmly believe, had she met him anywhere else but The Bachelor, not on the TV show, it would have been too late. She'd have been head over heels. She would have given it a try. But since things were sped up, you know what I'm saying, and she got a chance to see things a little faster than usual, then she was able to see some of these negative signs that people don't usually get to see when they take 6 and 7 months, a year to come out. You know what I'm saying? Some things you will never see. You know what I'm saying? Especially with people like because he was narcissistic. You know what I'm saying? And I actually think he was psychotic. But so just tracing back to what things really mean, you know what I'm saying? He saw pretty, she saw pretty. But his pretty didn't translate to the well-rounded personality that she assumed, or most of us would assume or think that comes along with it. You think like, oh, handsome person, pretty person, attractive person, like dressed nice, they got it all together. You know what I'm saying? Bare minimum, like common sense, at least, good personality, whatever Chris may be, because like they're pretty. Like, who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would God do that? Well, it doesn't really mean any of it. You know what I'm saying? You hear it all the time with women. Well, why would he be gay? You hear it all the time with men. Why would she be lesbian? She could get all the men in the world. A girl's like, he could have any woman that he wants. Well, he could, but his looks have nothing to do with who he is. Like, his looks mean nothing in this case. Like, they don't define him one way or the other, as most do. So, getting to the things about what really mean. And so there's a deeper rooted issue here, because in the chat room today, they send around certain things, whatever, and there was a video that I didn't really get to watch because I was in church when I opened it. Not the video to be opened in church, by the way, but glad I had the volume down. And I read it, and that's why I was reading some of the comments, and It was about it's the nature of sex or whatever. And so in the video, they're talking about pegging, and I guess the girl is defending. One girl is defending pegging her boyfriend or husband, and her other girl is calling her crazy, saying that he's gay. You know what I'm saying? That means he's gay. You know what I'm saying? And so for those of us, or you, or people out there who don't know what pegging is, it's when the woman wears the strap, and she's having anal sex with the guy. Right? So, and throughout all the comments, and this is not reduced to just a female thing either. But the part that I'm gonna talk about as it pertains to what it really means is gonna be heavier toward the women. But in the comments, the majority of them were actually men that were saying like, well, that means he's gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gay. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that were defending him were also men. And so, or defending him and her, defending her act and defending his right to do such a thing. Right. So again, pegging is when the girl wears a strap and does it to the guy and whatnot. And so, they're saying it means this, it means that. And, it seems like the girl's saying like, no way that's heterosexual sex. So, I mean, I would want to go define heterosexual sex, but I don't think I need to. I think from what my understanding from the last time that I looked at it, heterosexual sex was defined as sex between a man and a woman, right? So I would think anything that a man or a woman do to each other is defined as heterosexual sex, with no caveat. You know what I'm saying? With no matter what it is. And so before I go into that, for the women that were getting mad at him or her, because a lot of the women were mad at her specifically. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? You're making him gay and this, that, and the third, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Women have to be, and this is gonna go along with it, but women have to really tread lightly, because first off, especially in the sexual content, like, women want men to be sexual, right? Most women are very sexual, and then women complain about their sexuality in the sense that, like, some of them say they don't get to be as open as they would like to. Men would judge them for being who they are, whoever they want to be. And again, because I just started live streaming, if you want to call in, you can call in at 323-900-0478. Again, 323-900-0478. Understand, like, there's not a lot of places for a man to go sexually. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you want a man, or if you find a man that is okay with you and is as freaky as you are, then go with it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you want him to be with you, then, you know what I'm saying, that, like, you freaky, so he got freaky. But anyway, so again, because I just started live streaming. We're talking about what was on World Star Hip Hop, about pegging and women treading a fine line, and we're talking about what that really means. What things really mean. And one girl is pegging her boyfriend, which is having sex with him in his butt with a strap on, and everybody is saying that he's gay because of it, and she's making him gay or whatever the case is by doing such a thing, and it's not heterosexual sex, right? And that's what that means. So we define sex as heterosexual between man and woman, which means lesbian sex is between that of woman and woman, which means gay sex is between two men. So what I would argue in this case, first off, as it pertains to just the sexual content, is if you feel that way, if you are the person that feels that what she was doing to her boyfriend is gay, making him gay, and that means he's gay. If you're a woman, what does it mean when your boyfriend gives you head? So when he down there and he's giving you oral copulation, does that make you lesbian? Is it the same thing? Because we know that the primary source for women having sex with each other is them giving each other head, right? That's the nature of it. Because that's what you're saying. You're saying that means, that's what that means. What she's doing to her boyfriend is what that means. If you're a guy, when your girlfriend gives you fellatio, does that mean that you're gay or you have gay tendencies? Now, in all these acts, they're being done from man to woman, from woman to man. But the only true heterosexual act of sex is intercourse. Penis into vagina, dick in the pussy. That's the only actual heterosexual part of this. So if you're going to lobby that, that's what that means, then you would have to take into consideration that women, you like getting your vagina ate, but so do lesbians. And niggas, you like getting your dick sucked, so do gay niggas. So if we just stick to what something's supposed to really mean, at the bottom line, it's a heterosexual act. Now, if you want to say that it implies other things, then that's different. It could imply a lot. Not saying that they're right, wrong. It could imply many things. But for someone else that I know in that position, from the woman's standpoint, not that she actually did it, but she wanted to do it. She was like, when she thought about her man being more sexual, she didn't know where else to go. Not that she was super into it, but she had tried everything else. And the spectrum is so far and wide, she didn't know where else to go. So when she's asking her boyfriend to open up sexually. She wants to be kinky. She's done a lot. But then when she thought about her sexual history, everything had really been done on her behalf. He was telling her, like, hey, I want you to bring in another woman. She was like, all right, cool, I'll try it. But she didn't know where to go because she knew him being with another dude was going to be out. So her next best thing was, all right, I'll be with another girl if you let me try this with your butt. And so his thing was like, nah, that's out. But when she came and we were having a conversation, she was like, well, what does it really mean to be more sexual, for a guy? Because they have a lot of limits, you know what I'm saying? They have this small box to be fit in, as to where women feel like they have to do everything. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk to a lot of women, it's like they feel like to satisfy their man, they have to be a porn star. They want me to do this, do that, bend my legs this way, bend my legs that way. You know what I'm saying? Most women, although they are very gay in nature with the things that they do, are actually very hetero. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them don't even want to deal with other women, but they will, or they do for the man. But then in return, and we know women are more freakier than men, where do they have the options to really push the envelope? And so a lot of men won't do certain things or even open up their envelope. Not to say that their butt is the envelope, but just the whole idea. Because of what they are scared, it may imply and or mean if they do something. Now, it doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. My granny said, what you do between you and your woman is between you and your woman, and that in itself is heterosexual. My mom told me the same thing. The definition tells me the same thing between man and woman. Now, the acts that you commit in between that could imply a lot of things. Nonetheless, it still means that you're still doing hetero things. Now, the bigger spectrum and scope to this because this is cautionary tales for women and their thinking and logic and applying things globally, because men do it too, but I'm primarily speaking to women, because I do believe women are duplicitous, you know what I'm saying, in nature, but they're raised like that as well. Get everything, you know what I'm saying, get the good and the bad, want the good and the bad, desire the good and the bad, need the good and the bad, and live and walk like that. talking about what something means. Most men, most aggressive men and or psychotic and or rapists may see a girl and she may wear a short skirt. Now to him, he's thinking, well, that means she wants sex. And I remember when I was a young kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I asked the girl, like, well, when you wear skirts, does that mean that you want to have sex? She's like, no, it doesn't mean that at all. You know what I'm saying? It's an outfit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means. I want to wear that outfit. You know what I'm saying? But men don't necessarily see it like that all the time. They have to be trained to see it like that because they just thinking, oh, easy access, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? A nigga wearing sweats don't mean he want to easy access or he's ready to have sex. But I don't know what women are thinking in that regard. Like, I don't know what implies that to a woman. So what does it really mean? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that for said woman. She could just want to express herself in that manner, in that nature. But what would you say to a guy that said, well, that is what that means? Why else would you wear such a short skirt that give me such easy access to do what it is I feel like I want to do or have the urge to do? Right? What is it really? Because at the gist of the issue, it's about our own thinking. And when you apply something so loosely globally, that's where you get these accidents and these instances where people, because again, we're talking about what things mean. And although I'm speaking primarily to women, everybody really, but heavily to women, when you take things out of context and make them fit your narrative and change it, that's when we have a problem. Let's talk about a way negative situation, because we just talked about rape, right? Or men taking what they want because she wore a short skirt and him thinking that's what it really means. So he takes it upon himself to go and do what he does, or whatever the case may be, or try. But that's not what that means. Coming from, for those that just joining or tuning in, coming from saying I love you at the altar, but having two different meanings, traveling all the way to another extreme, cops, black men, right? Cops feel like pulling over a black man for whatever reason, and this is my interpretation of what's going on. Their life is automatically in danger, right? He's equipped to kill me for whatever reason. Why would I assume that that's what that means? At least that's what we taking it, because they're killing us at every turn, right? White people don't get killed like that. They get the cuss, they get the screen, they get to draw weapons, and they're disarmed. They're disarmed. You know what I'm saying? They go to jail. We go to graves. We're shot. We don't live to tell a story. We can't defend ourselves. But if you live by that, oh, his girlfriend was fucking him in the ass, pegging, whatever it is you want to do, however whatever words you want to use loosely, term you want to lose, that means he's gay. Well, then that means the cop is okay, because that means we're a threat. That means it's okay for the guy to be overly aggressive because she wore a short skirt. It's okay to say I love you and mean something else because I wanted it to mean something else. And it's not true. So we got to learn to be able to take things at face value for what they really mean. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn something, know something, and figure out what that applies, how it applies to the situation, and understand that to me, that might mean this and that. For you, it means that and this. And then meet in the middle somewhere and find out how and where that works. Because oftentimes I know in relationships, somebody will say something, girl say something to a guy, that means something else. Hey, babe, can you take the trash out? To him, that means, okay, yeah, take the trash out. Take the trash out when you get ready to take the trash out. Just make sure you take the trash out. To her, that might mean like right now. It's an eyesore. You know what I'm saying? But we hear it differently. So then when she comes back by, like, hey, babe, I said, can you take the trash out? Oh, yeah, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's just more along the lines of, okay, maybe not all the way when I'm ready, but just still today. You know what I'm saying? And then when she comes up by and she's mad, like, what the trash is here? Oh, you meant like now. You know what I'm saying? You meant like take the trash out now. Like that's what that meant. Granted, we both heard the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? She said, babe, can you take the trash out? I heard, babe, yeah. You want me to take the trash out? But it meant to me just take the trash out. It didn't have any time period stamp, especially if I'm like playing a game or whatever the case may be, or watching sport. It really doesn't have a time step attached to it. But we mean different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, sex means different things. You know what I'm saying? For some people, like, it's a creative expression. You know what I'm saying? It's an activity. You know what I'm saying? For others, it's attached to the depths of their soul. You know what I'm saying? And again, going back to The Bachelorette, in which I was watching, she had sex with a guy or two or whatever. You know, she's living her life. The other guy, he was abstaining from sex because it was tied to his religion. So, again, these things mean they mean different things. You know what I'm saying? We grow up in different households. You know what I'm saying? What one person is taught and is shunned away from, another is not taught, and a whole bunch of things are welcome. My grandma's from the South, and a lot of parents are like this as we were growing up. Like, I couldn't talk back to my grandma, but it's not, even more so than talk back, because most of us can't talk back to our parents. But I wasn't able to ask a whole bunch of questions when it came into like a challenging situation. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to go to bed early, I couldn't be like, oh, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, do I have to go to bed now? Like, I was just hitting the mouth, period. Bam. That's that. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Then I would go to my friend's house. He had all type of witty remarks and retorts and rebuttals, and comes back and yelling and screaming. I'd be like, wow, that's crazy. That's when you realize that shit's really different. You know what I'm saying? Like, what something means in one house, what was disrespect in my house, it didn't mean that in another house. So again, if you want to call in, you can call in 323-900-0478, 323-900-0478. Listen to The Relationship Game. And one of the things we're talking about at the current moment is what things mean and how things carry a different meaning. You know what I'm saying? Case in point, I like city girls, right? I'm a DJ. They shit bang, right? But one of the things that they say that I hear getting a lot of women in trouble crossing the path of men is like this point blank period, right? So there's a lot of things that men won't say to another man because it's a level of disrespect. You know what I'm saying? If I come at a nigga like point blank period, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's condescending as fuck. And like, nigga, you're disrespecting me, which means these are fighting words. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't change because it comes from a woman. You know what I'm saying? If a woman says point blank period in a hostile way to me, those are still fighting words. You know what I'm saying? Like, that still means the same thing to me. However, it's trendy right now. You know what I'm saying? And so women, I hear it all over, you know, it's caught on. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying it, and they're being loose with it. And I know it's rubbed me wrong, it's rubbed a few people wrong. But it's cool to say in a song, but you change it in a separate setting, and it means something completely different. So again, just reiterating what we're talking about in totality is just starting out, and chime in because I'm streaming as well for those out in the radio land. You know, and I guess I'll go down the rabbit hole of, since we were talking about sex and we were talking about pegging and what that really meant and means. Since we do know women, and this is a bit of a transition, since we do know women are more sexual in nature than men and need a lot more variety, because a book that I wrote, Dr. Eric, I can't think of her name. She said women are now having sex, later 70s, 60s, you know what I'm saying, or leaving their men, for a strange variety of sexual things, and cheating outside the men, but not leaving for additional sex. If we know that women are more sexual in nature, and you need that to be met by your guy, what exactly does that mean? You know what I'm saying? So if there's a guy out there right now and he's looking to spice that up, try something new, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? What is that supposed to look like physically and sexually? Because on the one end, where we come into this, and we're talking about the extreme here, right? She was talking about pegging. This girl is defending having sex. She's having sex with her boyfriend. She's doing him in the butt with a strap on, right? That meant, but everybody's in the inbox saying, oh, like, that mean he gay. Even though between the men and women, that mean he gay, right? Now, on the same note, I watched a guy walk down the street with jeans that fit. Not tight, but fit. But they were too tight for this girl's liking. And she said, oh, that mean he gay. She didn't like the way he dressed. Well, that means he's gay. So, it's, and granted, there's extremes to all of this to where there are clear indications. But where's the spectrum at? Where's the honest spectrum at? You know what I'm saying? And why is it not the same for men and women? Because, again, I mentioned before about what things mean and don't mean. For a woman, nothing means anything unless she tells you it means exactly, whatever, something. Case in point, women, and this I'm gonna describe. Women can hold hands in public. They can skip in public. Women can sleep in the same bed, head to head, with nothing but a t-shirt on. Women can spoon. Women can kiss each other. Women can dance each other. Women dance with each other. Women call, and these are things that women actually do. Women call like their best female friend their girlfriend. This is what the majority of heterosexual women do, and it means nothing. Not that they're the least bit gay or lesbian at all. Not even close. And they can have done or do all that on a daily basis, and it means nothing. However, if a guy does one of those things, pick one, anyone, doesn't matter which one, it means everything. The minute a guy goes outside his comfort zone, it's funny, I was friend years ago. He started dressing different. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of opening up. You know what I'm saying? Not nothing severe, just with color, I'll say. He started dressing with color. And I'm like, oh, what prompted the wardrobe change? And man, I went swimming one day and I didn't have no swimming trunks. My boy gave them to me, who was like, I don't know if he was like Arab or Middle Eastern or something like that, but it was them and a whole bunch of white people, whatever. Gave him some swimming trunks, and they were rainbow-ish. I don't know if they were fully rainbow, but they had a lot of colors of rainbow-ish. Nobody said anything to him. Hey man, you got some friends? Bring them over, whatever. So whatever, invited all those homeboys over. Someone came through. They come through, and the first thing his boys see is him in these colorful ass shorts, right? And they say, "Nigga, why you got on them gay ass shorts? Why are they gay?" And nigga, look at the colors, right? Crazy. Nobody from the other culture has said anything to him. What up, family? Shout out to my Uncle Larry. But nobody has said anything to him, right? That was there of a different cultural descent. It meant that those shorts meant nothing to him, to them. Black people come in, it meant everything. Now, and I do know that there's a crossover in culture, but it meant at that moment that, he was rocking something else. But to my point, and then bottom being, and getting to the root of what things mean and being careful, we got to be sure and understand and stop applying global thinking to shit that don't apply to us or really apply to that, and really deal on a baseline level of what something fundamentally means sometimes, because that's where we get lost in translation. We don't communicate with the other gender. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy story. I'm in a club, homegirl hits my friend, and she's like, yeah, he coming. I'm like, oh yeah? It's crazy because you told me he was busy. Nah, he coming. So I'm like, dang, the time passing. I'm like, dang, if he was coming, he would have been here by now. We way in Long Beach. I'm like, you sure he said he's coming? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, he texted me. She's like, he texted me that. I'm like, oh, let me see the text. In the text, she said, hey, are you coming? He said, I'll see. I'll hit you back and let you know. That's it. And so she was really heartbroken when he didn't show up because she told me that he said that he was coming. And I'm like, where in that message, baby girl, did it say that he was coming? Now, that's, again, an extreme idea, but that was a literal example. Like, that one's not even made up. That's not hypothetical. Nothing. Like, that was a real life incident. And so I think it's real important to ask, you know what I'm saying, what this means, what that means. Because we do it with kids all the time. Well, kids make us do it because they're very literal. And I told somebody this a while. I told my teachers this. Like, I'm afraid to teach my son metaphors and analogies because I feel like that'll be the loss of his childhood. I think that's when you start crossing adulthood, you start understanding things as metaphors and not so literally, because we know kids are real literal. And so nowadays, I think everything is so metaphorical. We speak in such analogies, especially because of music around, like, everything. We think we know what everything means when somebody says it, especially if we've been conditioned by a previous relationship or by a family or by a friend. And it's not, the majority of the time, is not what it means. You know what I'm saying? I'm a nice guy, right? So I try to practice chivalry as much as I can. Obviously, I fall short, but I try to. You know what I'm saying? I try to do it as much as I can. And I've had women on several occasions, when they describe why they think something's gonna go the distance, and obviously it might be a month in maybe, but they're explaining to me, he opened doors. You know what I'm saying? He did. He pulled out my chair. You know what I'm saying? He's polite or whatever. And then a lot of times I ask, I'm like, well, where's he from? And often it's not here. But even when it is from here, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, that's a great start. But it's not the end all be all. Nah, because these niggas out here don't do. And I'm like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? So it is a great start. Because just like the guy today on The Bachelorette that she thought matched her attractiveness and was put together, well-spoken, you know what I'm saying? None of that meant anything. And I brought up that I'm a gentleman because I was raised to be nothing but. It was me. I was raised around my all-female cousins and my aunties for the most part. I mean, I had older cousins here and there, but, one died. The other one was like on the other side of the family, pastors or whatever, and then the rest of them were older. My brother and them were older. So what I ran with in home was women. So it was, you do this, you do that, you open doors, you do this, whatever. So it's ingrained in me, not to mention, you know what I'm saying, my family's from the South. So that's just what I know. But I could still be a dog. I can open your chair. I mean, I can pull out your chair and still want to see you fall in other ways. It's just that I feel like you deserve this. And I always tell women, it's like, well, if that's the case, then what's going on with the women down south? Because they still getting cheated on. And we know down south, they the consummate gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Everything is yes, ma'am, no, ma'am down there. If that's the litmus test, it's not. Everything matters. Everything. And you got to find out what everything means. And so, but before you even got to do that, you know what I'm saying? You got to find out what things mean to you. I'm a very, behavior is big to me. And not that I care, but I base what things mean off your behavior, how you respond to them, naturally as possible. And I never forget. And ladies, I'll tell you, men never forget. You know what I'm saying? So if you're wondering why he's acting a certain way, it's because at one point that meant something to you, or when he did this, you did that. So when something changes, if he can do this and you don't do that, it means something changed. And whatever, he may not say anything or he may not articulate it, but that's what it is. Because for us, we can only go by your actions. We want to like you, we want to love you, but there's so many people out there lying to us with a straight face. There's so many women out there putting on. There's so many women out there, or lovers out there, females that even if they're natural, they're in makeup. You know what I'm saying? Because people put on a facade and they play in the role for whatever reason. And so we just go based off of how you react to our genuine behavior. You know what I'm saying? And whatever it is that we start liking about you and for you, what got us to like you for, then that's what we judge things off of until you come out and tell us that something's changed and give us a viable reason why. And so, again, what do things mean? You know what I'm saying? And a good baseline is finding out what things mean for you, because we all do change. We all do change. And there's nothing wrong with change. You just gotta let people know when you change. Like when you have that epiphany, like, you know what? I don't want to go clubbing no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, damn, we used to go clubbing all day. You know what I'm saying? So if you just up and abruptly stop clubbing, it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? Something's off. But if you just change, if you change for the good, better, or worse, whatever case, but you had that you made that conscious decision, then your partner can roll with you. And 9 times out of 10, that's how change is respected when it comes. But when arbitrary change comes, that's when people looking at you side eye. You know what I'm saying? Because you condition us to be a certain way based on what you've done. This is what this means. You know, so if I'm bringing you flowers home and every Friday, and you get ecstatic, you know what I'm saying? And then one day you just don't, and I bring them and I do it again, and you just don't. Well, to me, that means something is going on. It could possibly mean something else, that there's someone else. Now you don't want my flowers. You know what I'm saying? Because I often say the only difference between what I'm doing and what he's doing is whether you want it or not. You know what I'm saying? I could come up to you and be like, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? What's your name? You know what I'm saying? And you could be like, I got a boyfriend. Oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But the nigga you want it from, I'm going to walk up to you and be like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Same day, same exact day. Hi, Kim. Well, the only difference was Kim wanted it from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I talk to my boy all the time about women make things that women be seeming a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, you making it seem like, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we're always trying to figure out what this means. I just gave him my number. Okay, but what does that mean, though? You know what I'm saying? You gave him your number. Why? He was cool, nice conversation, whatever. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because the same, that uglier dude over there who had a nice conversation, you told him you had a dude. So what does you giving this dude your number mean? You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. I know it's not like that. I hear what you're saying, but I need to know what it means, because I watch you turn down several people. But why did this one? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a coworker. You know what I'm saying? It was like nothing special. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, what does it mean? You know, so, you know, just get to the core and the depth of things of what they mean, and find out for yourself. I know for me, I'm a minimalist when it comes to what I need. You know what I'm saying? Because what means a lot to me is that you yourself, and that you're unapologetically yourself. And then I understand that people got their own shit to deal with. And so I think the best thing you can do is appreciate somebody and give them your time. So if you're going to be there for me on all my doctor's appointments, if I can talk to you when I need you, and I can trust you, and you know what I'm saying, you accept me, that's it. I could deal with the stipulations of any relationship after that. I mean, outside of going to Disneyland maybe too often because it's just expensive. I can deal with anything else. You know what I'm saying? I can deal with the attitudes. I can, you know what I'm saying? I can deal with the talking, you know, too much. I mean, don't make me miss. Oh, I need my sports. I need my sports. Go Niners. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you give me, and that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we got to find out what we need. Sometimes we go into stuff and don't know exactly what we need from somebody else, and then we try to project that onto somebody else. Like, oh, I'm words of affirmation. So you start giving him all these affirming words. Ladies like, oh, I care about you and this and that. Ooh. Whole time I'm a nigga needed with some quality time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you ain't ever there. You know what I'm saying? But you tell them, like, hey, like, you the best nigga I ever had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You fine. You know what I'm saying? You write him long letters and notes and telling him how good he is. But the whole time, his love language is quality time. You have to give him quality time. That means love to him. For you, words of affirmation. He needs to tell you how pretty you are, how good you are to him. For some niggas, you could be as trifling as you want to be, as long as you fuck him right. So, fuck him right. But for you, you know what I'm saying? You may need, well, whatever the other love languages are. You know what I'm saying? You just might need talking. You need to come and say, hey, look, just as long as I can talk to you, I need your time. You know what I'm saying? I need you to actually be there. You know what I'm saying? Is what do you need? You know, it's the guy that is dating the guy that makes the money, that has all the money. So you're secure. You got the nice home and everything. Cool. But what you need really is to spend time with him, because maybe the last niggas or people you've been with, maybe you didn't have two parents, maybe you didn't have a dad, maybe the last niggas you've been with cheated on you like a dog. So for a man to be out of your presence so much, it never sits right with you, never sits well with you. So it means you actually need him there, even though it will be nice for security. But a lot of times you know what, I don't need a problem in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like I just, if I could just be secure, if I didn't have to work, you know what I'm saying? Oh, cool, here you go, man, bam, takes care of you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to work, spend a dime, but he's never there because he's out there making the money. Don't work out, because that's not really what you needed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Say first rule of life is know thyself. And then one of my best friends always say, he who fools himself is not wise. You know, and I like both of those. And you got to know thyself. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, I like it. You know what I'm saying? We all need it. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a problem when you don't have it. You know what I'm saying? But when I say I don't need it, I mean from the individual. Like, it's more important that for me, what you do, how you do it, and that you genuinely like me. And so, ladies, because I am talking to everybody, because I'm primarily talking to y'all, I will say that this is very important that a man knows, right? And if you really want to get a dude, show him that you genuinely like him for him. Not in your own way, but in a way that it means something to him. Genuinely like him for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why, but my girlfriend genuinely likes me for me. I couldn't tell you why. I mean, I know I can be fine as shit on some days, depending on the day. But, you know what I'm saying? If you squint, you kind of drunk, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Will Smith, maybe. But who knows? But no. Like, she genuinely likes me for me. And so, against all odds, when stuff is getting rough, I don't know, when the days are getting hard, you know what I'm saying? When I really don't feel like dealing with this woman no more, it's hard to leave and go and get the pretty face, because I know she genuinely likes me for me, which means she's willing to put up or fight through all of my BS, because that's the hard part, my imperfections. It means I know, like, against her will, she's going to like me, because she genuinely like that's chemical between her and I. Men need to know that. So for niggas, a man may provide for you for a lot because he likes you, but it's also in his character, and it's innate. It's what most of us are bred to do. So if you're cooking and cleaning and you know, having great sex with him or whatever, it doesn't mean that you genuinely like him. It just means that you like him. It just means that he's a capable body. It could possibly mean he provides security for you. Like, there's no distinction there for him. It doesn't assert the fact that you're about him at all costs. Again, The Bachelorette, you could end up with one of those pretty faces that are psychotic if you leave him, or if he leaves you, which would make things worse. You know what I'm saying? we always wonder why. The women always wonder why the quote unquote ugly girl wins, or the quote unquote hoe wins. But her personality crosses a lot more people at the depths of his core. That's one. Two, she's honest. Like, even if you can't be dishonest about being ugly, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the point is, most of those women come with more personalities. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I like sex. I fuck. It is what it is. Yeah, I've been with a few niggas, a few hundred or whatever, a few 30, a few teens, whatever. But it's honest. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to deal with that than dealing with the girl that told you she had 3. All right, cool. And then you find out it could just be 4. Like, why'd you lie to me about that one for? Oh, you lied to me about that. You lied to me about everything. That's what that means. And you can never change that narrative. But you could have, I could enjoy you washing and cooking and cleaning my clothes and fucking me or whatever. But when you're doing something specifically tailored for me, when you're doing something that I know you don't fuck with, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I hate sports, but you can quote ESPN for me. You know what I'm saying? You're with me at my doctor's appointments. You know what I'm saying? You can keep my secrets. You want my secrets. You dwell in my imperfections to make me better, or to let me know that I don't have to get better, or if I never get better in that area, you still rocks with me. Then it don't matter how good the next chick can, could, or would fuck me, clean my clothes, whatever, because it doesn't mean anything anymore. Because the most meaningful thing to me is covered by you, and trying to find somebody that will always make me mean that much to them, it's hard to find. And so I'm gonna leave on that note. You know what I'm saying? What do things mean to you? You know what I'm saying? What does that mean? Do you mean that much to him? Does he mean that much to you? What do things mean? It's Dontro Detroit. This has been a relationship game. I enjoy that you let me spend this time with you. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy talking to y'all. My co-host will be back next week. Got a dope poet. If there's any fellas out there, we got a dope poet that's coming in next week. Peaches J. Peaches Jordan on Instagram, or Saya_who. But dope poet. Ran into her to showcase, and she's coming through, so fall in for that. Again, you can download the app, Good News Radio Station. It's easier to listen to us. What else am I missing? Shout out to my first lady. One of them at least. I got a few first ladies. She watches the show. And she said she wants to come down. So, Keith. Shout out to Charles. Can't be here. Shout out to Deidre again. Tommy. And Keela, forever gonna miss you. Forever in our hearts. Yeah, I am Dontro Detroit. It is what it is. And this means a lot to me because you are everything. I am out of here. Yeah.